Well. It's been a long time since I've done this. I haven't filmed in a long time. Hey everyone, my name is Bridget. Welcome to my channel. I know I have not done this in a very long time. This video is going to be a little weird because I'm going to explain kind of a little bit of what's going on and why I've been absent for so long. And then I've also got some life changes to talk about. First of all, I think it's been months since my last video and I did not intend on taking this break, but it just kind of happened, you know, life. When I started this channel, it was kind of right in the middle of a semester for me of college and it just got a little bit crazy. So I didn't find the time to film, let alone edit and get everything up. And so I just decided to just kind of stop it and just get through the semester. And then I graduated and everything was great. I originally thought right after graduation that I'd be able to pick it back up and start filming again, but things just didn't work out that way. Kind of dealt with a lot of different changes, a lot of things taking up my time, a lot of new plans and just like mental health kinds of things, and just like I said, just life. So I'm very excited to be filming again. I've been missing this for a long time and I still have tons and tons and tons of content that I want to put out, and so thank you guys for the patience if you've been waiting for me. If you haven't noticed, then I can't say I blame you. I was new anyways. This is all like new territory for me. So yeah, it's just kind of doing a little revamp, kind of getting back into it, starting over. So this video is gonna be a part one of a two-part situation because there are two different things that have changed in our lives, and they happen to be new animals. We definitely did not intend on getting any more animals for a little while, but as fate would have it, we now have two additional pets within our home. So I'm gonna kind of go over the story of each of them, and I'm gonna focus on one animal in this video and the other animal in another video. To start this one off, let's talk about this first pet. This is the one I think that we were the most shocked about. We actually adopted a bird. So what had happened was right at the end of March, I was just at home, minding my own business and working on some school stuff, and my mom called me from her work and she said, Bridget, I don't know what to do. I found a parrot. I need help. Like, where do I take it? Who do I call? What do I do? You're the only person who deals with animals that I know. I know you have an extra cage. Like, can you just help me? And it just, you know, threw me off guard, obviously. But I dropped what I was doing. I told her to call animal control, and I made my way into town with the intentions of just taking the bird into my possession and waiting for animal control to tell us something to do, or to kind of wait for anyone to claim him. The situation with something like that is crazy because obviously you've got a parrot. I mean, it's not just like a normal bird. Like, this is a very exotic parrot that someone obviously owned. So when I met up with my mom, we decided to take him into my vet and see if there was any kind of microchipping or something. I don't know. I don't know if people do that to their birds, but I just wanted to check. And he didn't have a band around his ankle. His beak was very overgrown. He just didn't look like he belonged to anyone. So at first glance, I thought, well, he doesn't belong to anyone. You know, he's just kind of out. Maybe someone didn't want him anymore. Maybe they just released him into the wild. And I had every intention of keeping this bird if no one claimed him. So we'd spoken to animal control and they told us basically it's the same situation that it would be for any other animal, you know, dog or cat or whatever, that after a certain amount of time, if there's no claimed owner, then they typically euthanize. And I was not comfortable with that whatsoever, so I did not let animal control take this bird. I decided to take it to my home. I had a very small cage, you know, a cage that's meant for, you know, a parakeet. But I knew that it would at least contain the bird until something else happened. You know, my husband and I had looked up cages already. We were well prepared to buy a new cage immediately and adopt this bird it, you know, as our own. During this time, this bird and I bonded so much. It's kind of crazy for me to think of. You know, they say that the bird picks you. Well, this bird did not want to leave my side. He stayed on my shoulder the entire time. He took food from me. He was talking to me. It was just the sweetest situation I had experienced in a very long time. So I basically fell in love with this bird, and sadly, the very next morning, the owner of this bird claimed him, and I had to give him away. Now, I was pretty heartbroken because of the bond that this bird and myself shared, because when she walked into my house, he did not want to go to her. He was flying back and forth between me, my husband, and my mom, not wanting to go to her whatsoever. She said she had him for 15 years, and so you'd think that a bird who's been with someone for 15 years would be excited to see their owner and would want to go back to them. But he certainly did not, and I don't love the conditions he lives in. I'm not gonna go into that, but they're not great. But that's just none of my business. It wasn't meant to be, and I can only hope that he still has a very long, happy life. Regardless, the situation that unfolded next is I was just talking to a friend of mine about being upset about having to give up this parrot, and like, I had wanted a bird for a long time. We've thought about it, we've looked into it, and knew that that was something we wanted in the future, but wasn't at all prepared to take it on right now. But I just kind of talked to her, and I was like, you know, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. That was so much fun. You know, this bird was so sweet and kind, and it just really kind of jump-started the want of a bird for me. And she just so happened to have a friend who had a parrot that she was needing to rehome. So she sent me photos, I asked a lot of questions, and 2 days later, we got a bird. And let me just go ahead and say that we love this bird. She's beautiful and she is sweet in her own way, and I'll explain. We do not have any intentions of rehoming her. Again, we don't think that she deserves to have more than 2 homes. Regardless of the situation at hand, I just don't feel like I would be comfortable giving her up again. Like, I don't think that she needs to go anywhere else. It is gonna be hard. Once I get into the details of everything, you guys will understand why it is gonna be hard, but I know it can be done. I've seen it done before, so I think that in time, it's going to be okay. So now I'm going to explain my little girl. We adopted a Lutino Indian ringneck parakeet. And a parakeet is basically just a smaller parrot. It's all still part of the parrot family. She is a medium-sized parrot. Her body is, you know, not as big as a large parrot, but not as small as a little budgie or parakeet. So she kind of fits in there in the middle. She's larger than a conure, if that makes sense. She is currently 3 years old. She just turned 3 years old on June the 1st. And her name is Sydney. The sad part about this video is that I was hoping by the time I filmed this that I would actually be able to have her out with me, showing you guys her, but unfortunately with her situation and her past, she is very aggressive. I cannot handle her, I cannot hold her, I cannot touch her. She will not step up. She will not get on my arm. She has been on my shoulder a couple of times, but the last couple of times she was on my shoulder, she tried to bite my face. So I decided that that was not something I was comfortable doing anymore. I think she can get on my shoulder way far in the future, but not right now because I'd like to keep my face. So with Sydney's story, the way that this kind of unfolded is when I spoke to her previous owner, she basically said she bit, she can't be handled, and she screams all day. The woman admitted to me, you know, that this wasn't something that they wanted in their home anymore. It was cutting into just their daily lives. You know, if you've got a bird that you can't love on that also screams all the time and that bites, you know, it's kind of not something you really want to deal with unless you have the time and the patience to do so. And that's what she told me. She said, I loved this bird, I was so excited to have her, but things just went downhill and I don't have the time or the patience or the will to really, you know, make it better and change this bird. guys her cage setup, and I'm gonna show you like the whole cage, the inside, and a little bit of her. All right, so here's the setup we have for Sydney. This is the cage that we got her in, and it's actually a wonderful cage, but we are thinking of upgrading her in the future just to something a little bit bigger. This cage is 70 inches tall and 32 inches wide and 23.5 inches deep. But if you take off the seat guard in the bottom, it is about 44 inches tall. So it's still plenty of space for her that she can actually access, but still we are thinking of upgrading her in the future just for something a little bit bigger. But for now, this is actually a really nice cage. So here's the girl right here. Say hi, Sydney. Say hello. Everyone wants to see you. Say hi. So beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to give an overview on the cage a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't go out of focus too bad and she doesn't start screaming. So we've set this up quite a few different ways so far, but I think this way is the way that hi Sid. I think this way is the way that works the best. She's got a perch back there in the back with a hanging toy. That's where she sleeps. And then she's got this perch that comes all the way to the front over here, where she can kind of hang out, tell me hello, get her treats. She has another perch back there in the back with a hanging toy. That ledge down there is where I keep her bath. Hello. I just offered that to her yesterday, so it's not filthy or anything. She's gonna get mad. Anyway, there's another perch that goes down to it, and then this front section here, she has her fruit and bird bread bowl that I do there and a perch to go on it, and then this little section right here is for her chop. I haven't offered that to her yet today, which is probably why she's screaming, so I'm going to do that here in a minute. Then she has this perch on the door that she just sits at and kind of hangs out with us and chats with us and everything. She's got a little hanging pineapple over here that she likes to chew on and destroy. Hey girl! Back there in the back is her water dish, and she also has a perch that goes from the water dish all the way up to her calcium block back there. And then she has another perch here that goes to her grains and her pellets. And so yeah, everything that we have set up in here works really nicely. She doesn't get poop on any of the other perches because none of them really overlap one another. But yeah, this is her little cage, and I love it. I think it's great. You want to say hi, Sandy? Say hey, girl. You want that camera, don't you? You want that camera, don't you? So that is going to be it for my video today, guys. We have a new parrot in our home who came from a not so fantastic past, but that is okay. We are going to make her better and happier. As time goes by, I will keep you guys updated on any changes that come about, so if you'd like to keep up with those, you can follow me on my social medias. I'll have everything linked down below. And now that I've had her for a couple of months, I do feel confident in doing a care video on her. So that is where I will explain cage setup, food requirements, and everything else that goes into caring for a parrot. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being patient with me. My next video is going to be me introducing you to our second pet. As I said, this is going to be a two-part situation. So this is part 1 and part 2 will come out next. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye!